Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be going over my free agent predictions. Unfortunately, one of my predictions, well, not one of my predictions, one of my free agents that's on here is already signed. That's Edwin Diaz with the Mets. I had him going back to the Mets anyways. I thought that was like a kind of a foolproof thing. So, yeah, when I say Edwin Diaz to the Mets, I had that in like the beginning of October when I started this. So, just saying. Anyway, starting off, I have Wilson Contreras going to the Milwaukee Brewers. That just makes sense. They need a catcher. They want to stay competitive. Probably aren't going to sign Omar Narvaez back. Kind of underwhelming season. And it just makes sense to put him there into Milwaukee, especially if they're willing to get rid of a draft pick or two for him. Next up, I have Michael Conforto, the free agent from last year who never signed. Minnesota Twins. They're probably going to lose Carlos Correa, a good left-handed bat like Michael Conforto going in there, trying to get back, build himself up. Makes sense. Yeah. Anthony Rizzo back to the Cubs, back to where it, not where it began, back to where he really bloomed into an all-star. He's opted out of his deal with the Yankees. I think he goes back to Chicago to end his career. Up next, I have Adam Duvall going back to the Atlanta Braves. Just makes sense. Yuli Gurriel, I have him going back to the Houston Astros. Also makes sense. Johnny Cueto, I have him going back to the White Sox. Again, kind of just makes sense. New coach coming in. I think they'll be better. They should be. Kyle Gibson, I have him going to the other Sox team, Boston. The Red Sox are going to go get Kyle Gibson to slot him into that number 3 spot. They're going to need someone because I don't think Chris Sale's ever going to pitch another game with them again. So Kyle Gibson's going to slot in there, probably at that 3 spot, maybe a 2 spot. I have no idea. So yeah. Andrew Heaney, I have him going back to the Dodgers. Dodgers are a team that took a chance on him last offseason, pretty much worked out. And I think that is going to be something they're going to have that inside track to get him back. Andrew Heaney is going to have a soft spot for the Dodgers because they kind of revitalized his career. So it's like 2 peas in a pot, you know? Sonny Gray, I have him going to the Padres near the end of his career. Padres are going to probably lose a starting pitcher or two. Sonny Gray going into San Diego, pitching as a number 3 starter. It's going to be great. Aaron Nola, I have him going back to the Phillies. If he opts out, he's going to go back to the Phillies, but I think he just opts in. Blah, blah, blah. Carlos Carrasco, I have him going to the Cleveland Guardians to kind of finish his career where it really began. And Cleveland was competitive. Start to throw a little bit of money. Cleveland, go get Carlos Carrasco, man. The fans love him. Zach Greinke, I have him going to the Royals, probably on a 1-year deal, and then he'll retire at the end of the year. Taijuan Walker, I have him going to the Angels. The Angels need pitching, and they're going to go hard on pitching this offseason. That's where all the money should really go. Maybe one bat, but it should go all to pitching. Their pitching was better, but still kind of a joke. So, yeah. Gary Sanchez, I have him going to the Twins. Going back to the Twins, I guess. Mike Zunino, I have him going to Houston to be the offensive catcher platoon with the defensive catcher, Martin Maldonado. Makes sense. Christian Vasquez, I have him going to the Rays. The Rays wanted a catcher. I think they tried to trade for Christian Vasquez at the trade deadline. Didn't work out. They've started to spend some money now, and I think they'll throw a bag onto Christian Vasquez. Jose Abreu, this one's a shot in the dark. I have him going to the Orioles. The Orioles were almost competitive last season. Well, I guess they were competitive. They weren't almost competitive. They were pretty competitive, except for in September. And I think they're going to look at him. They traded Trey Mancini. That's their first baseman. They're going to look at Jose Abreu as like a guy who can play first base for the next 3 years or so until he ends his career, and he can mentor those young guys like Adley Rutschman. That's the only one that's popping up in my head right now. Jorge Mateo, the couple other guys, Gunnar Henderson. Those young guys who are down in the system that come up, how to perform in a postseason rush near the end of the year. Brandon Belt, I have another first baseman coming into the AL East. He's going to the New York Yankees. He's going to replace Anthony Rizzo. He's going to spend 3 years there, and that'll be it. Josh Bell, I have him going to the Giants to replace Brandon Belt. Switch hitter. I don't know. It clicks. It makes sense. I don't know what it is. It just makes sense. Adam Frazier, I have him going to the White Sox. They've been linked for a while now. He fits that organization really well. That platoon guy who can play everywhere. Left-handed bat. Or is he a switcher? Switch hitter. One of the two. Just really good baseball player to have on their team. Andrew Benintendi, I have him going also to the other Sox team. I have him going to Boston. going back to where his career began. I don't know. It just makes sense to go back there for him. And Boston really needs some offensive guys. And if they can get Andrew Benintendi and Kyle Gibson, they might start looking competitive again. Up next, I have Michael Brantley. I have him coming to the Toronto Blue Jays. That 2020 offseason is going to come to fruition. He is going to sign his contract in Toronto. We're not going to break the news early. The news is going to be broken correctly. Yeah, Michael Brantley's a Blue Jay. Jock Peterson, I have him going to the Yankees. Makes a lot of sense. He's a left-handed power bat. Going to thrive with the short porch. Try and replace Aaron Judge. Going to be hard, but yeah. Up next, I have Brandon Nimmo. I have him going to the Rockies. The Rockies are trying to be competitive again, it feels like. You know, they kept German Marquez. They extended him. They extended Daniel Bard. They went out. They threw a bag onto Chris Bryant. They're going to throw a bag onto Brandon Nimmo. It seems like they're really competitive. That's who they want. That is, like, number one. They're circling him, and his face is there, and the Cubs are like, we want that guy. It's Brandon Nimmo. He's going to the Rockies. Tyler Naquin, I have him staying with the Mets again. Mets are going to have to keep someone when they lose Brandon Nimmo, and it makes sense. I could also see them making another run at Conforto, but I don't know. Joey Gallo, I have him going back to the Rangers. Rangers are going to start to, bring him back. The shift being gone, he's going to thrive. He really is going to thrive. So, yeah, Joey Gallo to the Rangers. Aroldis Chapman, I have him to the Marlins. Again, he chose to stay in Florida over going to play for the Yankees in the playoffs, so why not just sign in Miami? Makes sense. Seth Lugo, I have him going to a division rival, the Atlanta Braves. He's going to leave the Mets, go to the Braves. The Braves are going to throw a bag on him like they did Colin McHugh. Kenley Jansen, for the second year in a row, I'm predicting this. He's going to be a Toronto Blue Jay. Toronto needs bullpen arms after the embarrassing performance that was that Game 2 wildcard game. Kenley Jansen is the start of that. Corey Knebel, I have him going to the Angels. Like I said, they're going hard on pitching. He's going to the bullpen. He's going to be behind. They don't have a closer. They traded Iglesias. He's going to be their closer. Edwin Diaz, Mets, signed with the Mets. Obviously, 5-year, 102. Good job, Mets. Next up, I have Noah Syndergaard going to the Phillies. Found some success there. Almost won a World Series. I think he stays. Jose Quintana, I have him going to the Mets to replace either Taijuan Walker or Carlos Carrasco. Martin Perez, I have him extending with the Rangers. Makes sense. Sean Manaea, Los Angeles Angels. Money is an object for the Angels. Money is an object. Sean Manaea is going into that rotation. It's going to go Ohtani to Manaea to Taijuan Walker. There's your 1, 2, 3. Reed Detmers, also in there. There's your 4th. They're doing it. Chris Bassett, back to the Mets. Just makes sense. They've got the money. Money is an object for them. And I think they're going to, because that rotation, 4 guys are going to the free agent market. Getting back Chris Bassett, it's going to be a huge, good start in doing so. Ross Stripling, I have him going to the Giants. He just screams a San Francisco Giant-esque player. It's because he's so versatile with pitching. He can pitch in the bullpen. He can pitch from the rotation. He had a career year last year. I don't know if he'll be able to repeat it, but he just screams to me, I'm a San Francisco Giant. Tyler Anderson, I have him going to the Cubs to replace Wade Miley. That's about it. Mike Clevenger, I have him coming to Baltimore. He's going to fit into that rotation behind John Means. He's going to be their number 2, maybe their number 3. I know Baltimore's a place to go where pitchers die. He's going to do the opposite. He's going to revitalize his career. He's going to be an ace. Carlos Rodon, if he opts out, which I think he's going to, signing back with the Giants anyway, staying there long term. Jameson Taillon, I also have him staying with his team. He's going to go with the Yankees. He's going to stay there for 5+ years. Justin Verlander, he just won the World Series. He's most likely going to win the AL Cy Young. I mean, if he doesn't, who does? I have him going to the city he almost signed in last offseason, Toronto. Toronto's going to throw a flipping bag at him. He's going to replace Ross Stripling. Clayton Kershaw, he's going home. He's going to Texas. He's going to play for the Texas Rangers. He is going to be that ace. He's going to be the face of that rotation. He's going to be there for 3 years, and then when Jack Leiter comes up, goated. That's all I'm going to say. Jacob deGrom, he's opting out, most likely have him signing back with the Mets anyways. The Mets would be stupid not to sign him. They put a 3-year 103, was it 3-year 103 or 3-year 120? But a huge 3-year deal onto Clayton Kershaw or onto Max Scherzer. They're going to do the same. That'd be a 4-year, very high annual average onto Jacob deGrom. JD Martinez, he's going to the San Francisco Giants to replace Jock Peterson's bat. He is going to be their DH. Mitch Haniger going to the Yankees, also in hopes to replace that offensive missing of Aaron Judge. It's not going to be the same. Trey Mancini, staying with the Astros. Dansby Swanson, now we get into the big names. Boston Red Sox. I don't know, it just makes sense. I see him going to Boston. He's a Boston Red Sox. Xander Bogaerts, he's going to Miami. He's going to be playing alongside Jazz Chisholm. He's going to be their shortstop. Trey Turner, Atlanta Braves. He's replacing Dansby Swanson. Carlos Correa, the Los Angeles Dodgers. There's a big turn there. The only team that loses their big shortstop is the Twins. I don't know what it is, but Carlos Correa just seems to be a Dodger, you know? And it's going to be so weird. And finally, Aaron Flippin' Judge, MVP, AL home run leader. He's the king in the American League. He's going home. San Francisco, Aaron Judge is going to be your right fielder for the next 7 years. Aaron Judge to the Giants. Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel, and tell me what you think of my predictions. Do you like them? Do you think they're doo-doo? And tell me what you think your team's going to do. Tell me where you think some of these guys are going to go, especially the shortstops and Aaron Judge. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you guys are brand new. Peace out.